the motel for 13 years, and then we sold out, and we had bought a house that was rented out, and we moved into that in a couple of spare rooms, and the other people moved out. We stayed there for what, about 6 months? While we had a house removed and then built. The house that was removed, I renovated it, and we rented it for a while, and then we decided we'd sell it, and we built a home in Ballina itself, in Tamar Street, complete with a swimming pool, very nice home. Then we sold out in Ballina in 1980 and moved to Brisbane. Bought a house at Red Hill, which I pulled a section of it down and had it lifted, and we built it, extended it into a 3-bedroom home, downstairs where our daughter Linda moved into, and then she moved out, and then she moved back, and then she moved out. But she spent several years in the home, and her children, who were reared in, her older children who were reared in the home, they're now 20 and 21. They say, oh gee, if only I still had that house, you know, they're going to university and they'd have somewhere to be living instead of out renting somewhere. After leaving school, I had a short term in the post office for 6 weeks, and then after that I got a job on the railway, 6 months probation, no pay, and after 3 weeks a fellow moved away, and I was appointed, and I got 7 and 6pence per week. From there I went on to serve as a waiter and conductor on the trains working out of Launceston, and then I sat for the clerical exam, and I did fairly well, and from that I was posted to, or transferred to, New Norfolk, where I spent 3 weeks, and on the recommendation of the station master I was moved to Scottsdale as lad porter, acting junior clerk. From there I sat for the clerical examination, and I topped the state, and I was then transferred to the accountant's office in Hobart, where I spent several years. From there I joined the Air Force in 1941, and from the June 1942 to November 1945 I served as an observer, bomb aimer, navigator, gunner, and served in 460 Squadron in England, and I had a pretty successful war history, being awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross Immediate Award, and then I returned to Hobart and was seconded into the Transport Commission as Records and Staff Officer, and also Field Officer of the Road Safety Council. And I remained there until 1958, when I took my long service leave and moved to the mainland, and from there I went into a caravan park, and then that gradually moved on to a service station, roadside cafe, and then a 20-unit motel, which Barbara, my second wife, and I operated until the end of 1971.
When I was getting on to 20, I suppose, 19, 20, my father asked a friend of his, a Chinese friend, if he could give me a small job, which he did. I don't think the job entailed a great deal, but there's certain searching that you had to do. You had to, you know, do paperwork, and at that time did, before I went to Germany. In Germany I had a job, working for the American Occupation Forces.
So when did we retire? Have we retired?
I used to go to a lady's place. There were quite a few ladies there, and learned how to do the China painting. And then I found one of the ladies, other ladies, they were doing bark work. And I thought, oh, that's a messy thing. But it fascinated me all the same, so I decided to leave the China painting and go to the bark people, and where I've done work on bark, Melaleuca bark, where you clean it and scrub it off nicely and you make a picture on a board.
I must say her pictures are very, very good. She became the president and was president for several years, and the editor of their magazine.
We're still functioning. I'm still going to the Art and Bark.
I suppose one of the main things, I did the family history on the 3 sheriff brothers who came to Tasmania as convicts, and one of them was my mother's ancestor. And so I followed the 3 families through and wrote a book on the 3 families, and it's now used as the family Bible by a lot of people in the family. Then I wrote a book on my war experience, and at the same time I wrote a book on the Grigg family, who was Dad's family, and I'm now very quickly doing one on the Woods family. Of course, writing the book I didn't know anything about computers or typing or anything like that, so in doing so I learned how to do it, and I'm now fairly proficient. I have a website on 460 Squadron, and get quite a few queries on that, and I follow the history of it. So I'm fairly well occupied, keeps me out of mischief. All in all, I think we've had a pretty satisfying life, and so we don't sit down and watch a lot of television. We're pretty active and pretty busy, and
we have a pretty big garden, so that keeps me occupied. Whenever I get bored in here, I'm up in the garden.
And the landscaping we have done ourselves, to suit ourselves, because we feel that we live in a very good area, good climate, and so if we can beautify it to our satisfaction, well, what more do we want? At 82.5 years, I sometimes think I'm just about the end of the road, but then my mother lived to 100 years and 4 months. So I keep on thinking, well, I've got so many things to do, I'd better get on with it instead of sitting here talking in front of a camera.